The Guadalcanal you know is airplanes and jungle, carriers trading strikes, Marines dying for an airstrip. What that leaves out? The turning point was decided in the dark, at point-blank range, by two battleships that were never supposed to meet. Past midnight on 15th November 1942, in Iron Bottom Sound, the destroyer screen is already gone. South Dakota loses power, goes dark, drifts silhouetted before the enemy. That leaves one battleship, Washington, still fighting. So, how did she end up alone? Halsey did not want to send battleships into these narrow waters. The channel off Savo Island was tight, shallow, and made for torpedoes. Everything a heavy ship is built to stay out of. He sent them anyway. On the night of 14th November 1942, William Halsey committed his last two fast battleships to hold Guadalcanal. There was nothing else left to send. Two ships were going into one channel, and the whole campaign would turn on what happened there. The lead ship was USS Washington, newly commissioned, freshly worked up, carrying a main battery of 9 16-inch guns that had never once fired at an enemy. Captain Glenn B. Davis had the deck. She was clean, modern, and fast, and the crew aboard her had drilled for this exact night without ever having lived it. On paper, she was formidable. In practice, untested. Guns without a war behind them. The reason this ship matters, though, is not the ship. It is the man who flew his flag from her bridge. Rear Admiral Willis Lee was a gunnery and radar specialist, and that pairing was uncommon in an admiral. Lee understood what his instruments could do. In the dark off Savo, where the eye is useless and lookouts strain at shadows, he believed radar could see what men could not. Most commanders of the era still trusted their eyes. Lee did not. He was ready to fight on what the screen told him. That trust was about to be tested. Ahead of Washington, in the opening minutes, the destroyer screen was already coming apart. Start with the screen, because that is where the battle came apart. Lee's 4 escort destroyers had been thrown together for this one night. They had never trained as a unit. 4 ships, 4 different captains, no shared drill, sent out ahead to feel for the enemy in the dark off Savo Island. They found it. In the opening exchanges, the Japanese fire came down on them fast and accurate, and the screen was shot to pieces before it could do much of anything. Walkie and Preston took the worst of it. Both sank, and both sank with heavy losses. That is the cost I want you to hold on to. Not a statistic, a line of dead men who bought Lee a few minutes of confusion. Then it was South Dakota's turn. She was the second heavy ship in the line, and at the worst possible moment, she suffered a catastrophic power failure. Her circuits tripped. She went dark, and a dark ship is a blind ship. Radar down, guns groping. Worse, she was silhouetted. Burning wreckage behind her lit her up for the Japanese gunners, and they took the invitation. South Dakota was hit more than 24 times. Not sunk, but she was battered out of any effective role in the fight. Staggering, absorbing fire meant for someone else. Count what was left. The screen was gone. South Dakota was crippled and lit like a target. Every other heavy ship in Lee's force was out of the fight. One ship remained operational, Washington. And here is the thing the Japanese did not know. As they poured fire into the burning South Dakota, Washington was still out there, in the dark, unhit, unseen, working her own firing solution. Alone and invisible, she turned her radar on the enemy. The radar found her first, out in the darkness off Savo Island, far past the range where a lookout could see anything at all. Washington's fire control radar closed on a shape and held it. An enemy battleship, Kirishima, running north, still firing on the crippled South Dakota. The men on Washington's bridge could not see her. The instruments could. This is what Lee had trusted all along. The screen was gone. The 4 escort destroyers, shot to pieces, South Dakota dark, and out of the fight. Washington stood alone, Lee's last heavy ship, and the whole might now rested on whether he would fire at something his eyes could not confirm. He would. He and Captain Glenn Davis committed the 16-inch main battery on what the radar told them, not on what they could see. The first salvo left at close range, then the next. In the space of a few minutes, Washington put somewhere between 9 and 20 hits from her 16-inch main battery into Kirishima, and more than 40 from the 5-inch guns on top of them. At that range, the heavy shells did not miss by much, and they did not need to. Kirishima barely answered. Radar had changed the job of command. The captain now acted on what he was told, not on what he saw. In a night surface action, the kind of fight that had always dissolved into confusion and muzzle flash and guesswork, Washington's gunnery became a machine reading a screen and correcting. The eye stopped mattering. Kirishima took the salvos and came apart under them. Her steering shot away, fires running the length of her hull, her guns falling silent, one by one, in minutes. Radar had decided a night action that doctrine said should have been chaos. She was finished. What the morning did to her comes next. The gunfire that decided it lasted minutes, not hours. Minutes. In that short window, Washington's radar-directed salvos left Kirishima burning, flooding, and unable to steer. She never recovered. The Japanese scuttled her just hours later, that same morning of 15th November 1942, and she went down off Savo Island. That was the end of the enemy's last heavy ship in Iron Bottom Sound. Washington came through the entire action without a single casualty. Not one man aboard her killed. Not one wounded. She had fought at point-blank range, in the dark, against a battleship built to kill her, and steamed away without a scratch on her crew. The rest of the force paid for it. Across the whole battle those nights, 242 Americans were killed, and 142 wounded. The destroyers Walke and Preston were lost, overwhelmed in the opening minutes, when the screen came apart. Washington's flawless night sits inside a far darker ledger, and I want both of those things in view at the same time. The American commanding officers were decorated for the action. And that outcome, one battleship, not a single loss, an enemy capital ship on the bottom, earned Washington a place no other American battleship would ever occupy. Here is the record, stated plainly. In the only one-on-one battleship duel of the Pacific War, USS Washington sank the Japanese battleship Kirishima by radar-directed gunfire in a night surface action. And this was not luck in the dark. Washington did not stumble into a brawl and swing until something broke. Kirishima was destroyed by instruments, in minutes, in near total darkness. That was radar gunnery working exactly as Willis Lee understood it would. The credit lands in two places. On Lee, who trusted the radar before his own crews trusted it, and on a ship that fought on what it was told, not what it could see. That is the standard Washington set off Savo Island, flawless and alone in the record. Stay with me for one last word. Washington did what no other American battleship managed. That's where I'll leave her. Thank you for watching. If this helped you, hit like, subscribe, and send it forward. See you in the next one.